What's good, guys? What's going on? Welcome back and welcome to round 4 of the FIA Nations Championship, the second season. So this is a Group 1 race at Maggiore, and I'm in the R10 TDI. There's two of them. I'm in the 2011 car. I just want to show you a bit of qualifying because check out what happens at the end of the first lap. Now, we can talk a bit about the connection problems that seem to have been going on this weekend. I don't know what's been going on, but this is the second time I've tried to do the Nations, and that's after failing to do a manufacturers as well. So it's just been a nightmare. Friday, I couldn't get on. Like, I'd get on for maybe 2 minutes at a time, sign up for a daily. I'd never be able to actually make it into the daily, so I don't know what's been going on with either PSN or Polyphony Digital servers, but it's not been good. And it's certainly not me. I was looking on GT Planet this morning, just listening to a bit of music, having some coffee, and yeah, it seems like loads of people had problems in the FIA races. So I actually think, in hindsight, looking back, that I'm actually quite lucky that I managed to do this Nations race by the sounds of it. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's have a look. So this car was pretty good. I was initially qualifying in the 2016 Audi R10, and I quite liked it. It did all right. I think my best lap was around a 38.5. Did a few practice races with a few of the fast guys, and I saw Spark was using this version of the car. Now, me and him were actually lapping pretty much the same time. He probably wasn't really trying though. So I hopped out after that race and decided to give this car a go, just to compare it. So I did 10 laps in the 2016 one, and then I just did another 10 laps in this one, and within 3 laps in this one, I was already there. But more to the point, it just felt much easier to drive, just a bit grippier. Certainly in turn 4, I want to say, the one that drops downhill. Very important to have a settled car for that corner. And yeah, I quite enjoyed this car. It's the first time I've driven it, so I thought, why not? And yeah, look at this. So that car went straight off in front, and I thought, oh god, no, have I been disconnected? But luckily, it seems like it was just almost everybody else and not me. So look at everyone dropping. Dropping. I think we end up down to 13 now, but by the end of this session, it was like 8. There you go. So I'm really sorry, guys. This is going to be a bit of a naff race, but I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I mean, at least I got a race. It's alright. Shut up for the anthems. Got some tea, actually. I need to wash the car as well today. I've just been so busy. You guys should see the fucking state of my car. It's absolutely filthy. I mean, disgustingly filthy. It's a bit embarrassing, really. It's because I've got a tree on my drive and I can't help the car from there's nowhere else to park, really. So if it's not bird poo, it's just all that sort of, you know, that kind of, it's not even tree sap, it's just that sort of dry dust kind of thing. You guys know what I'm on about. Look at the VGTs. A lot of Bugatti VGTs this race. They're good on one lap, but I don't think they're as good on tyre wear. There's your boy. Rubbish qualifying. Did really badly in qualifying. Just couldn't get a lap together. You'd have thought with only 8 people there'd been less traffic, but it didn't really work out like that. I think he outbraked himself there, and ended up just having to go up the inside to avoid me, so I left him a room to do it. But I don't want to get held up though. I mean, I was only braking so early because of that VGT in front of me, so we overshot it a bit. I was going to say we looked to have reclaimed this position, but I ran a little bit too deep through the apex, but just held it. Although he's got a run. He's got a run on us here anyway. I don't want to fight too hard. Like I said, it's a long race. There's a bit of fuel saving to be done, so it's not the end of the world. And I mean, I suppose the one good thing about half the lobby dropping out is you're guaranteed at least 8th place, you know. So, well, I say guaranteed. That's if the game stays connected. But I mean, fingers crossed, all being well, can't do much worse than 8th in this race. I really like the Group 1 cars in general, but particularly at tracks like Maggiore, where you really get to stretch their legs and push them a bit too hot there. So yeah, no editing for this one, we're just going to watch it. Let's see how it goes. So he's got a track abuse penalty, this guy in front. I couldn't quite pick up where that was. I think it was the last corner, wasn't it? So he might have cut a bit too much of the inside curb, because it's hard to get a penalty for running too wide on the exit. So I wonder if he just took a bit too much curb on the inside. This corner, very important that you're not too fast in, so you can be early on the throttle and drive all the way up the hill. Not driving too well, but bear in mind, I've been trying to race for about 3 hours now on this game. So when you fail to enter a race because of the way the time slots work, that's a whole hour now that you're just sort of twiddling your thumbs waiting for the next one. It was tough. So I mean, my whole Saturday afternoon pretty much, and the evening in the end, disappeared. But I mean, it's just the way it goes. And like I say, I'm not the only one, so I think they had a lot of problems over the weekend. I wonder if they've tried to make some fixes to the blue screen problems, but I think it's just moved the issue elsewhere. Because I was hanging, it happened twice yesterday, on the waiting for players to finish getting ready screen. So you know when you first transition into a lobby, you see the list of everyone's names, you're all in the pits, but you can't do anything yet, you're just waiting for everybody to load into the room. I think what's happening is some people were crashing out, probably blue screening, and then the rest of us are all stuck trying to wait for the game to clear that up, which just never happened. But that's never happened before. I've had a few blue screens, but I've never been stuck on that lobby screen before, so I feel like they're just trying to... You fix one sort of bug and it just opens up another 10, that's generally the way it goes, so we'll see. It is a shame though for this stuff to be happening during the season, isn't it? Especially on a day when we've got the top 24 double points race. Not what you want to see, because a lot of people, I mean, it doesn't affect me because I'm not in the running, but if you're one of the top 3-5 guys, it's quite important for you to get into that race, and if you've done everything you can, you've made sacrifices, so you've planned your life around this game to do the races, to give yourself the best shot at those races, and then to say, you know, you've cancelled plans with friends and stuff to race, and then you can't even get in the race, it's pretty poor. Right, let's pick up the pace. Purple sector, but it's meaningless. Oh, is it? No, I thought we were on lap 2. No, purple sector in lap 3 is alright. I was going to say, in lap 2, everyone gets purple sectors. I did a race recently when we were all on chat or whatever, and on lap 2 we got, oh, I've just got a purple sector. And I felt a bit bad afterwards, because I didn't think about it, but I was just like, oh, it's meaningless, everyone has purple sectors in lap 2. I think it really deflated him, but I didn't mean it, I was just, because it's true. Because everyone's going faster on their lap 2 than they were in that sector on lap 1. Because you had a standing start or a slow rolling start on lap 1, so no matter what you do, pretty much on lap 2, you're going to get a purple sector. Everyone's going to get a purple sector, but anyway. A little wobble there. It's tricky coming on the power in the slower corners, because obviously the faster the car like this, when it's working the aero, the slower you go, the less grip you have, because you're not working the aero as much. So, and also it's just a powerful car, it's probably more to do with that, but you're always going to struggle in the low speed corners in this sort of car. I think the Bugatti VGT's not so bad because it's got good traction, that car. It's a control pad car though, the VGT. You could possibly argue that the 919 is a bit of a control pad car as well, but I quite like that car. But I thought I'd drive something I've not driven before, so... And the car was pretty good for this track combination as well. I think it would have been a better shout if I was in the Superstars race, because it's 23 laps that race, so... I think this car may have been a better shout for the longer race, whereas in the shorter distance, the VGT's possibly the better shout. The Bugatti's, I think, is the faster car over a lap, The only reason I didn't pick it was because A, it's a sort of control paddy car. I'd rather take a sort of real world car. And C, I just wanted to drive something I've not driven before. Oh, but also primarily I was thinking that I think the Bugatti's not going to be that fast over race distance. I think it's not going to be as good on fuel and tyres as I can be in this car. This car's awesome. You just sort of drive it at like, I don't know, 50%, and it just loves it. Loads of grip, loads of power. And look, I'm not over revving it, just sort of taking it easy, and just the car does all the work really. Really good car. That's what you want from a Le Mans car though. If you listen to Alonso talking about his experience driving the Toyota at Le Mans, he's saying how nice that car is to drive, and also because it has to be nice to drive as well, because it's being driven by several drivers in the same team, isn't it? So unlike Formula 1, you can't get really specific setup for your driving preferences. You just need a car that just works. So you end up focusing your time on balance, and you end up getting a better car as a result. So let me let my cat in again. So, yeah, slingshot past this guy. I think he's in the 919. So the 919 with its gearing, it's very quick out of the corners. I was just going to have to show you. But we end up, once we get into 5th gear, that's when we're sort of slightly faster than the 919, but when the 919 is in 3rd and 4th, it's just a rocket ship. A little twitch there. I did that a few times in practice. Nice there. This is where it's struggling to get the power down, but I think the Bugattis are starting to take a bit out of their tyres by now. This is where the 919's quick, obviously, out of that corner. So turn 3 is it? Or would you say turn 2? Turn 2 probably. And then also down here, obviously, just whenever we're in sort of 3rd, 4th, that 919's epic, but as soon as we get to 5th here, we start to pull away again, so it's quite interesting seeing those two cars race. Again, here, the 919's rapid here. But once we get through this sweeper, this is where we start to pull back the ground, so pretty evenly matched around the lap, I'd say, the two cars. The Bugatti, I think, is the stronger car, so look, we're in the slipstream. Have I got a run? See, he's defended there, look, so we're going to go down the outside. Please leave me the room. Cool. Now, it's a long race, I don't want a penalty, I don't want to get too racy with this guy. I'm quite happy to fuel save, but I don't want to get held up either, so... Not very good there. More there, sort of wide everywhere. Might be the dirty air being a little bit of a factor. Turn in there. In the slipstream down the straight. But I'm not going to be close enough to have a look into turn 1. Can I have a look into turn 2? It looks like he's... Yeah. And then look, the clutch kicks in this car. It's very tricky to get it going again if you have to sort of come to a bit of a stop like that. Lost a lot of ground there. That's a really slam on the anchors. Because I mean... I think he was off the track, wasn't he? I wasn't quite sure if he'd gone off the track or not, so I think that's why he ended up running it really deep through turn 2. I mean, it ended up sort of blocking me, but I think he was just off. I think he had a wheel on the grass, so he just couldn't bring the car, couldn't pull it up. But like, you can tell I wasn't expecting it. Alright, up into 4th, and we're looking pretty good pace-wise on the guy in P3. So I think got a shot at the podium here. Oh, overshot the brakes though. Just got away with it. we lost more ground. Good there. Alright, he's not getting away. And I think, as I said, this is the phase of the race where I think we'll be a bit stronger than the Bugattis. Early pit stop by that guy. Obviously taking too much out of his tyres. Hard to get on the power there. Control the speed here, but get on the power to drive the car through. You need to be on the throttle through that corner, just to load the car. Alright, down here, again, as I say, very important you don't go in too hot. Control, I don't know what that was. Control the speed and drive through. Not like that though. A lot of my problem is I learn all the tracks in the shifter, so then when I come to drive the cars on the tracks, everything's just a little bit off, and nothing handles like the shifter. This car's pretty good though. I recommend it. If you're not giving it a go, it's the Audi R10 TDI. I think it's like a Dutch racing team, like Team Just or Just. I'm not going to pronounce that at all accurately, but you get the Just low. Alright, so end of the first stint, I'd say. Pretty much half race distance. And we've got the podium at the moment, but that guy came in early, didn't he? So we're pretty much racing with the German, who is in 4th, 5th, 6th at the moment, I think he is. So let's see if we can get out ahead of him. Fuel's good though, look. And I could even afford to underfuel a little bit, because I've not really been fuel saving that much this stint. That was a slight overfuel, wasn't it? So actually, I think if I'd have underfueled... Oh no, he's pretty much passed. Bit of contact, but luckily no penalty, thankfully. Just a bit clumsy, really, racing with this guy. Check fuel, make sure I don't accidentally use too much. And always plan it so that you can be just like flat out in the last lap or so. Don't go flat out now and then have to fuel save for the last lap. You're much better off fuel saving in this sort of situation, especially when you're behind cars, so that you can then go flat out later. But actually I don't need to fuel save at all really, this stint. I can pretty much drive the whole thing flat out. But I'm just saying, like, if you do have to fuel save, make sure you do it at the best time for you in your race. Don't not think about it and then come to the end of a race and find that, oh no, I do have to fuel save a little bit, because then you're going to be slow. Whereas what you want to be doing is capitalising on the people that have made that mistake, so that you can be going flat out whilst they're trying to fuel save a little bit. And even if you're not really close enough to pressure them and catch them, just the fact that you're reeling in the temps will be enough to put them under a bit of pressure, and sometimes they'll make a mistake just by you closing down the gaps quickly. So yeah, I'd say it's always a good strategy, I think. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to be able to drive flat out at the end of this race pretty much no matter what I do here. And it's not hard to fuel save in this car, so even if it is critical, I can just start short shifting a bit more. There is a little bit of power above 5.5 to 6,000 RPM in this car, but there's no torque. The torque drops out at about 3 to 4, or levels off rather. It doesn't drop out, but it levels off. That's better. Yeah, look, these guys are holding each other up a little bit. Purple sector, that's good. That's what we want to see. And yeah, you see what I mean about how poor my qualifying was. What was my qualifying like? Like a 140 something? A pretty poor 140. Whereas pretty early on in the race, went a lot faster. So that's not right. You should be way faster in qualifying than you are like early in the race in traffic and stuff. But as I say, it goes to show I didn't get a good quali. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just quite grateful that I actually got to do this race in the end. Because like I say, it was a struggle to do either race last night. P2's getting on with it a little bit more now. I think the Germans put a little bit of pressure on him. He seems to have picked his pace up a bit. But that's good for me because it means they're going to be taking more out of their tyres. So this isn't the phase in the stint where I'm expecting to be quicker than them, to be honest. The Bugatti's pretty good on fresh tyres. So as long as I can stay in touch like I am, I'm pretty content that I should have the pace once we get to sort of lap 13, 14, 15, later stages in the race. Looking pretty racy. Look at my tyre wear. Not too bad. But the VGT is a very good handling car, so it's going to be hard for me to, although I've caught him, it's not really any part of the track where that car is going to be weak. And it's good in the corners, so he seems weak there, doesn't he? And I suppose if you're hard on your tyres, this last complex is going to be tricky. But it's quite easy to defend it as well. I don't know. We'll see. What can we do? So P2's got a penalty, which is good, and we look to have caught him again. So if these two can just hold each other up just a little bit, I might be able to just do something here. But I'm catching it. I seem to be catching him at the wrong time. It's always here, and there's nowhere really I can go. And then on the way out, I'm struggling to get on the power, whereas I don't think he is with his four-wheel drive. So I'm always catching him through turn 1 onto turn 2's entry, but there's nothing I can do with that really. And then look, they're getting off turn 2 better than me, and then they're getting off turn 4. That one we've just done down this hill better than me by the looks of it. So I'm faster through here, but they're good up the hill. You see what I mean? It's just I'm not too sure where it's going to happen. Maybe if I can get a good slipstream down here into the crazy corner, maybe, but they're pretty quick down the straight, and they've got each other's slipstream as well, so it sort of neutralises the effect that I get. I mean, we'll see. I'm just eyeing it up here, trying to weigh up the options, but the guy in P2's got a penalty, so I don't need to do anything too drastic here. All I need to do is keep pressuring P3 into P2, which is what I'm doing, and it's working quite well. And just see if those two can scrap and either give each other a penalty or just slow each other down by racing and see what I can do. But as I say, actually getting past is going to be tricky. Catching's quite easy. And you see what I mean? They're both, it's a quick car, the Bugatti, and I might just start reeling it in as we get into 6th, but punches out very well. And like I say, look, I catch from here, but what can I do with it? Try and sneak in through him here, but I struggle to get on the power and it just pulls off, so it's looking a bit tricky really. I spent what feels like the whole race trying to measure up overtakes, and yeah, he's good off there. You see, it's tough, it's tough. I think the best way to do the overtaking in this race is to do it on fuel and tyres. I would have quite liked the longer distance, so the Superstar race was 23 laps, wasn't it? I think that would have been a good race. I'd have liked that. A bit more chance to yield benefits from your fuel saving and your tyre management, whereas in these shorter races it has less of an effect, I'd say, because the halfway point in this race is lap 8. I mean, you can do 8 laps on these tyres and fuel easy, but in the 23 lap race you try and get to lap 11, lap 12, it becomes a bit more of a factor, especially these Bugattis on their tyres. But never mind, what can we do? So lap 14, nearly onto the penultimate lap. P2's pulled away from P3 again, which is irritating. But there's just no way through really. That Bugatti's hard to get past. It's strong everywhere, just in the right places, you know what I mean? It's just strong where it needs to be. Sorry about that. Hay fever. I would love a podium here though, but all he has to do is block there and then drive off. Bless me. Oh, I forgot about that. So that's just trying a bit too hard, but I mean it doesn't really matter, does it? Last lap, I might as well have tried it, but alright, let's bring it home. It's alright, there we go. Like I said, I'm sorry for the... I mean, look at that, there's only 7 cars in the race in the end. Ridiculous. But like I say, I think we're just lucky to get a race in at all, by the sounds of it, so... Yeah, I'm sorry it's a bit of a small lobby, but I mean, what can I do? Been good points haul though, so... Let's actually, while we're here, I've not shown you guys this, let's take a look at the... Let's take a look at the standings. So it's not going to be after that round, it's only going to be after 3 rounds I think, because usually you have to sort of wait until the next day. But look, you can have a quick look at my friends list where I am on that list, not too good. I remember a lot of people have missed rounds as well, so factor that in. Top of the local rankings, but it's pretty meaningless really. You're going to see there's no one in my city playing the game unfortunately. But yeah, meaningless. Regional, not too bad look on the first page, but like I say, remember a lot of people haven't done all the rounds, and like I say, this is only after 3 rounds as well, so the point score from that last round wasn't taken into account. But anyway, there you go guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how you've all been getting on. How have you found the penalty changes? I hope you guys managed to get some races in. Anyway, good to hear from you all again, and I'll see you all soon. Alright guys, thanks, bye.